It's been a minute. But we're back with clapping hands.
Yes. Oh my gosh. You guys miss the clapping. I'm sure you do.
Oh my gosh.
I am Lindsay Carducci and I am here with Emily Lopez. This is Real Estate Beyond the Sign, our first episode. So thank you, Emily, for joining me today.
Of course. This is exciting.
Yes, very exciting. So, Emily, I would love if you could kind of just give an introduction to everyone,
Okay.
who you are, a little bit of your background as well, because it's a fabulous background, pretty expansive experience. So go ahead, tell us about you a little.
All right. So I am born and raised in Lakewood, Ohio, west side of town.
We love Lakewood.
We love Lakewood. I love the whole west side.
Yep.
And at a young age of 20, I moved west to California, to Huntington Beach, California, where I spent almost 5 years. I came back to Ohio for a short stop and then headed to Long Island. And that is where my two oldest children were born. And then from there, we were relocated to Pennsylvania and we moved a couple times there. And then ultimately, 17 years later, found my way back to Ohio and landed in Medina County. So I have lived here now this is year 26. I love Medina. And
clearly,
I know.
these are Emily's. So
they're not mine. They're my youngest daughters, and when she sees this, she's probably going to laugh. But all three of my children are graduates of Medina High School, and so I have fallen in love with it here, and it's home. This is home for me. But all of Northeast Ohio, I love.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. And I think Medina County also brought us together.
It did.
Yes,
it did.
So I first met Emily. I think I was on the first team that I was on in real estate.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even, do you remember?
It's
like
probably 6 years ago.
At least. Yeah.
Because I remember.
So I joined, Emily was the manager of another brokerage, their office in Brunswick. And so I became connected with Emily. I don't even know how, probably through the board. That's probably, or you reaching out to me, one of the two.
Bumping into each other.
Yes.
I don't know that honest
answer. I know. And I was thinking about that. I was like, when did we actually meet? And I just assumed it was the board. Or
it was fate.
Yes, that is very true. It was fate, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But that's how I met Emily. I joined her office, and that was in don't mind me. Oh, way better. We look way better. Listen, first episode kinks, okay? We're gonna get it worked out. But I joined her office in 2019. And honestly, I have you to thank for a lot of my success in life and career. You taught me some extremely valuable lessons and gave me great guidance. So,
well, thank you.
Yeah. And I'm just so happy that we're reunited and together again in real estate. We both have always, I feel like, had the mindset of community over competition and, collaboration and all of that. So
for sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, so we talked a little bit about your life and all of the fabulous places you've been. You are a mother, obviously, and your other new favorite role.
I'm a yaya, which is grandmother in Greek. I'm 100% Greek. Don't let the last name fool you, but yes. Oh my gosh. It's
he is like he's the world's cutest little man.
He is pretty cute.
And
he brings a lot of joy. Oh my God.
He does. I'm sure to your life, but also to ours, whenever you share all the little videos. He's so stinking cute.
Yeah, I would like to use him for content, but I won't. So.
Solicit him.
He's so fun.
I love it.
Yeah, it's been life-changing. It's great to raise your children and then they leave the nest and then they go on to do, all the adult things that it happens so quickly. But I think one of the topics that we kind of talked about before we went live is what got me into this industry.
Yes.
Yes. So
I would love to hear that.
So my youngest daughter was getting ready to go off to kindergarten, and I was blessed and fortunate enough to be a stay-at-home mom. And I will never, I would never tell anybody don't do it, because if you have the ability, for me, there was no greater reward. And it is a job, absolutely exhausting, demanding, 3 children, different directions all day long. But my youngest was finally going off to school, and I thought, well, what can I do that I can still work into our lives? Because my children remain busy, but their father has a demanding job that required him to travel a lot. And I thought, well, why not real estate? And this is really important. I never did it because I thought, oh, I like looking at pretty houses, because you hear that a lot. That is not the reason to step into this as a career.
Thank you for saying that.
It's not. That never was it. I thought it would be something, because I'm a communicator. I love to talk to everybody. I love to listen to everybody. And that's the most important part of this job.
Yep.
Is connecting with your clients, whether they're your sellers or your buyers. And I thought, well, you know what? This could work for my lifestyle so that my children don't lose the ability to have me around.
Yeah.
And honestly, I put my youngest on the bus for her first day of school. And then I planned and I did my education. I actually commuted to, oh my gosh, about an hour away. It was not Hondros. I did it at a community college.
Oh, wow.
But I did it 2 nights a week from 6 o'clock to 11 o'clock at night. And I had to do the schedule like through the summer. So I planned it.
Yep.
And I got licensed in October of 2002. And I sold my first house 2 weeks later.
Oh my gosh.
2 weeks from an open house. I did an open house, and
that's fabulous.
Yeah.
It's not always that easy for everybody.
Well,
not that it's easy. That was the wrong word, but it doesn't always come that quickly. So,
but you have to have that desire to do it.
Yes.
Like you can't just say, I've got my real estate license.
Yes.
You have to put things in place.
Keep talking.
Okay.
I realize I need to plug in. So keep talking.
Oh, okay.
Yes, you need to plug things in place.
You
2 weeks. That's amazing.
2 weeks, and you just keep evolving from there. We didn't have all the tools that we have access to now. So a lot of it was follow-up calls on a Monday from hosting open houses. We didn't have social media back then. I'm old.
Stop it.
There was no texting even. We didn't even have texting back then. And so all of your contact with a client or potential client was either via a phone call or door knocking or hosting an open house to bring people to you. So I have watched this industry evolve drastically.
Yeah.
And here we are on a live streaming talking about it, which who would have thought?
I know.
Unless I was being paid by a radio station or a TV news network to do this.
Right. And it's so funny because I feel like real estate is one of those things where Well, everything in life, business owners especially, you have to evolve or you're going to die.
Yes.
You know, I heard that somewhere, evolve or die. And it's so true because this industry is ever changing. And I'm sure you can very much understand that because just a simple showing is so much easier now than it was 20 years ago trying
Sometimes,
to show.
yes,
So-
sometimes you had to drive to the real estate office that held the listing to pick up the keys. And then you had, when you were done showing any or multiple houses, you had to return back to those offices to drop the keys off again.
Yep.
It was, and you know what? It was okay. Real estate still worked back then, but wow, has it evolved?
Yes.
And sometimes it's easy. That part hasn't changed.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's not.
Yeah. And like Jeff just commented, he was chiming in. He said, if your business isn't growing, it is dying.
Right.
And it's so true. But yes, I remember, up until 2019, I was still faxing some offers. I think we have mostly seen faxes go away at
The
this
clock
point.
tower in the square is where you can fax this document to.
Oh.
No, we're not faxing anymore.
No, please. If you tell me you have to fax something, I'm going to be very worried.
Where do we even do that? Staples?
No, our printer had the capabilities to send a fax. I think this one probably still does. But like, who has fax numbers anymore? Yeah.
I'm not faxing any of
No.
you. So there's that.
No, we will not be faxing you guys. Sorry. Okay, so what else? So prior to real estate, what were you like? Stay-at-home mom, obviously. What other kind of careers or jobs did you have?
So when I lived in California, I worked for a bank out there. I was an assistant branch manager and I handled the tellers. I made sure that cash in, cash out, balanced the vault every night.
Did they actually keep cash in the vault?
Yes, we had to count it down. This is a true story. You have to count the cash in the vault down every single night and you have a balance sheet. And if you are missing $1, you cannot leave until the bank balances to the dollar.
Dang.
Yes. So then that's what I did. I left that position and went to another bank out there, and I actually handled portfolios for clients that had jumbo CDs, $100,000 CDs. So I would go to the bank early, and I had a rotation of clients that every day a CD was maturing, typically 30-day CDs. So I had to shop rates across the country because I had to place that money in the highest yielding bank that I could find.
Yeah.
And then I had to have wire transfers done by 2:00 every day because you've got to factor in East Coast time.
Yeah.
So I did that while I was out there. When I moved to Long Island, I actually worked for Macy's for a period of time.
Ooh.
That was a great job. I loved it. But I ended up going back into banking, and I worked for a credit union, Bethpage Federal Credit Union, out on the east end of the island.
Okay.
And I was also an assistant manager there. And I did loans.
Oh, really?
I did
I don't know if I remembered that.
I did small loans. I did
Okay.
home equity lines of credit.
Okay.
And back then we used to have to type the loan documents.
Oh my goodness.
And if you made an error, you couldn't go back and use the typewriter to correct it.
Oh yeah.
You had to start over. Yeah. So then I had my first child, and then I was told I could retire, and I said, thank you.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
You retire, and then took on the most important role of all.
I did.
So
Yes.
oh,
yes.
that's so awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about real estate because you went from, a managerial role to being back in production, which from what we've talked about, you have very much loved. I know that you have been extremely successful with our team. So let's talk about that a little bit. Obviously, I think for you right now, you have a large sphere. You've built this over many years. But when you were first getting into sales of real estate, what helped you like grow the fastest, or what advice could you give to someone who is either just starting out or maybe struggling a little bit? What advice can you share with them?
One of I just learned this not too long ago. There is a celebrity realtor who I find his knowledge amazing, and I really have connected with Ryan Serhant's messages. And he said something I did a couple of his audio books that really stuck with me, and this is the best advice for anybody just getting started. One of the best ways to make connections with people when you're out in the community or striking up a conversation, you bump into somebody accidentally at the grocery store, or, if you're at Marshall's or Target, wherever you are, even if you're out for dinner and you just happen to be standing there waiting to, to get a table, and you make a conversation. But how do you connect? You compliment somebody, find some way to compliment, and then you're making a connection. I told you a funny story. Actually, I had to get a new phone, which for me is very traumatizing.
I have to do that because my phone stopped working this weekend. I'm not ready to that world.
But while I was at the store trying to shop for trying to shop for the best available package for me, because I knew there was a discount package. I guess I'm older and I wanted to take advantage of it. And it was not a great experience, but nonetheless, I said to the young man, I should say, trying to help me, I know you have other options. And he insisted that I said no. But this woman and her husband were standing next to me, and she looked at her husband and said, "Did we ask? Is there a better rate for us?" And I would go out on a limb and tell you that they were in my age group. And I looked at her and I go, "Well, there are. You need to find," but they had already signed everything, and they were trying to get their phone started, etc. And I said, I said something that I complimented her. She smiled so big, and I said, "Could I give you one of my business cards, or would you like one of my pens?" She goes, "I would love that." And she took my card. I got their names. I immediately put them in my phone in my notes where I met them.
Yes.
And she said, "I will be calling you." Whether she ever does or not, I don't know. I would love it if this video made it to her.
Reaches her.
I remember you. You're in my phone. So for people starting out, if you don't have a large sphere, wherever you are, the other book, oh my gosh, that I tried to make everybody read.
Not Ninja?
No. Help me think of it now. It's going to come to me.
It's probably one that
it's a smaller
Habits. Oh,
I need a sip
I'm
of
sure.
Well,
think of it by the end. It's probably one that we've read.
Well,
together.
it's really all about shaking hands with people.
Okay.
Make an introduction. Find a place where you can meet people, at coffee shop, wherever, go to Bob Evans and hang out there for a while. Anywhere where you can make a connection with people. And if that person doesn't need you for what you can provide, introduce them to the person that can.
Yeah.
Always be shaking hands is really the best thing. And just talk to people. That's what you have to do. We're in the job. This is our business.
Yeah. And I can't remember.
Excuse me.
No, you're fine. I can't remember if you were the one who told me this phrase or not. There's so many Emily isms. I feel like I need to write them down, but I don't know if it was you. You'll confirm or not, but you can't be a secret agent.
No, you can't.
And so that was one thing that, like I said, I can't remember if it was you or not, but somebody told me. And so
I said it a lot.
So it probably was from you, but that really stuck because, it's really just separating yourself from the rest of the pack, and you can't be a secret agent. So one of the things I love that you said, was about your pen and
The Go-Giver.
Oh yes,
that's the name of the book, The Go-Giver.
Yes.
If you're starting in this business,
Yeah.
even if you're not, if you're in the business of meeting people to grow any kind of a business,
Yes.
The Go-Giver. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Go on.
No, that's okay. But I love the thing about the pens because Jeff and I actually, whenever we go out to eat, we take the waitress's pen and we leave one of our branded pens, with the receipt. And some people are like, oh, wait, here, you forgot your pen. And I'm like, nope, it's yours now. It's the best pen and people love them.
But imagine if you do this, not me telling Lindsay how to do this.
Well, we
usually
at one point are trying to recruit that server before we leave our pen, if that's where you're going.
No, well, I mean,
we try and work it in the conversation.
If you compliment that server,
yes,
while she's serving you,
yeah,
and then at the end of your meal, say, we had a wonderful dinner. Thank you so much. You were wonderful. Here's my pen if you ever need anything.
Yeah.
Point them to that.
And I love writing them back a little note on the receipt too. Thank you so much. Service was fantastic. Just some sort of little note. I love that. So kind of with that whole topic, I just want to ask this one question. Our biggest fan is here watching. Our fearless leader, Mr. Jeffrey Carducci. He said, question for Emily, what are some challenges for new agents in 2026? I think that's a great question.
I think the biggest challenge for new agents is fear when they look at themselves and say, okay, now what am I supposed to do? That's always the biggest challenge. But what you have to do, ideally, is make a commitment to what you need to do every day of the week.
Yeah.
And when you do that, my example, the only example I have is me. So when I got started, again, we didn't have access to the technology to reach so many people.
Yeah.
We literally had to farm. Farming is planting the seed, nurturing it, watching it grow. The best way for new agents to start building their business is find open houses to go and put yourself out in front of the public, because there is a fear. There's a fear for some people. I'm going to sit in an open house and strangers are going to walk through the door and ask me questions. It's okay if you don't know the answers, because all you need to do is get their name and contact information and say, I don't have that answer right now.
It's a great question.
But let me write it down. And can you give me your contact information and I will get back to you? Well, guess what? You've just connected with these people.
Yep.
That is the biggest fear and how you can get started. So,
and I think that's the greatest piece of advice, honestly, because you're absolutely right. Fear is a big factor. And also not being able to answer the questions because you feel like you're going to look stupid or, whatever the case may be. But I always tell agents, like, if you don't know the answer, just respond with, that's a great question. I'm going to find out the answer for you.
And then you're connecting with them.
Yes, and you get their information.
Yes.
And that's key, because most people are so afraid to have the conversations and get them to sign in and all of that. But, it's kind of silly, because having a question that you can't answer is actually the key to connecting with them. So
to answer Jeff's question, that is the biggest challenge, but that's always been the biggest challenge, is that those dragons of defeat, fear. What is stopping you is you. And it's okay to ask. It's okay to ask for somebody's information to answer a question. Don't answer it if you don't know the answer just because you want to answer the question.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely. Okay, so what else? We have a few more minutes here. So what should we wrap up with? Is there anything, you have so many fabulous stories. So is there anything, that you would like to share, either a challenge that you faced, or like maybe a tough season story?
Yes, I have all those.
Okay, perfect. Well, I feel like you're going to be a repeat guest. So let's think of one of them, and then we'll kind of keep the others in the hopper for future episodes.
Okay. So because I have been licensed since 2002, I have seen the real estate market ebb and flow.
Yep.
But that's how it's supposed to be. Mm-hmm. However, in 2008, there was a devastating result because of predatory lending. Mm-hmm. The Big Five took an entire country into the worst possible place for families losing their homes, for loans that were created that required absolutely zero proof that you could even afford it. You could just walk in, and this is the Big Five. I won't say the name out loud of the one that started the parade, but I have all my notes.
I was going to say
they're here because I lived it. So when this one lender introduced NINA loans, which stands for no income, no asset loans, you literally could get pre-approved, and then your house was financed 100% at, with a secondary rate attached, a secondary note to cover what would have been the down payment. This sent us into a spiral for so many people all over the country. The Sun Belt was hit the hardest. I will tell you, I had a personal experience, not because I was upside down in equity on my home, but because of the timing of trying to sell my house. Mm-hmm. So as I went through the very first HARP loan modification program that was rolled out in this country, which was a disaster, which failed a lot of people, I started blogging about it. I don't know if you know that.
I don't remember that specifically.
Yes, I started writing a random blog. I attached it. I can't even remember the name of the blog, but it had the words Ohio real estate, my loan modification. That was my story. So I started writing about this whole process because it was failing horribly. And that blog got picked up by Realtor.com, and I became a featured blog writer about the HARP loan modification.
Oh, wow.
That impacted this country.
That's pretty neat.
It is neat, yes. And the only reason I knew that it happened is at the time our executive officer of the Medina County Board of Realtors, Elizabeth, I had gone to the board office because I have been attached to the board office.
We live there.
We do, forever. And I walked in for a meeting one day and she said, "You are on Realtor.com as a featured blog writer." And then
That's
they had
amazing.
sent me an email and I didn't see it because we weren't reading our phones like we do now.
Right.
And I was like, what? And they did. They reached out and they followed my loan modification. It didn't end well for me. Again, I did not have negative equity. I couldn't sell my home fast enough.
Yeah.
And my house was robo-signed.
Robo-sign?
I was part of the famous robo-signing where they swooped up all these houses in the United States and they took mine.
Oh, wow.
So when the Big Five were sued by the the federal department, oh gosh, what's the name of them? The Department of Justice sued the Big Five. I was part of that. I did not know that. And I received a check for my beautiful home for $1,800 when it should have not been signed away.
Wow.
That's a true story.
Wow.
Yep. Putting it all out there. I have lived it.
It was an awful time. I won't divulge a ton of details, but I remember, so 2008, I was 5 years out of high school.
Mm-hmm.
I knew nothing about real estate. So I was not educated in real estate. I didn't really understand it whatsoever. But at that time period, my parents were selling our house in Strongsville. They had built a house in Medina, and the house in Strongsville just wasn't selling because of everything that was going on, you know, in that time. So I remember those struggles, and I remember, you know, the hardships that my parents went through, and they ended up having to put renters in, and
it was a horrible time.
Yeah, it really was.
So, you know, unfortunately, I have that in my tool belt of experience.
Yeah.
So I can feel for anybody who has ever gone through something that puts you in a position that you lose your home.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm here to tell you, you can recover from it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of ways you can recover. It's not always fair, but it's not the end of home ownership. And that's pretty important.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You know, I really feel like everything, so I always say in real estate, but it's really in life in general, everything is figure outable.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's a solution to every problem. Mm-hmm. And like I said yesterday in our team meeting, stay solution focused. Mm-hmm. Don't, you know, in real estate and business and all of it, don't focus on the negative. Stay solution focused. Mm-hmm. And you will rise to the top. I truly believe that. So
it's not always
sunshine and rainbows and pom poms. Okay, it's not always,
but these can cheer you up. I mean, it's not, you know. So for those of you that might watch this playback, you know, don't ever be discouraged about the idea of home ownership, even if you've never bought a home or if you've been through something devastating financially. There's ways that you can come back and you can do it again. You just align yourself with a realtor who can point you to the resources that you need. So anything's possible.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. And so that brings me to kind of wrapping up here. I have your info scrolling at the bottom of the screen here, but tell people what's the best way to reach you in business if they have real estate related questions about buying, selling, how and where can they reach you?
Well, my phone number, 330-416-8885. I am a text or a phone call away if that is what you prefer. That's the fastest way to get a hold of me. You can email me as well, Emily Lopez at mcdhomes.com. But if you ever have a question, even if it's not to buy or sell a home and is related to your property, I might not have the answer, but I can point you in the right direction. So please feel free to reach out. And on in my last closing seconds here.
Yes. Closing remarks.
I have
please.
my own little tagline I've been using for years. I call Northeast Ohio home. Let me help you with yours.
I love it. I love that so much. Well, Emily, thank you so much for being my first guest
Of
on
course.
the podcast.
Yeah.
I greatly appreciated. This was some really great conversation.
Thank you.
And look forward to the next Pom Pom Sesh. And this is Emily and Lindsay signing out.
Thank you, everybody.